The year is 264 BC. Rome is still a rising power in Italy, fighting over farmland and muddy villages. Athens has long passed its golden age, but across the Mediterranean, another city stands at the peak of its power: Carthage. If you stood on the heights of Bursa Hill and looked down toward the sea, you wouldn't see a chaotic maze of streets like Rome. You wouldn't see a modest, philosophical city like Athens. You would see something far more impressive: a vast, glittering metropolis of nearly 500,000 people, white limestone buildings rising high above the coastline, massive harbors packed with ships from every corner of the known world, streets laid out with remarkable precision. This isn't just another ancient city. This is the financial and naval capital of the Mediterranean. And today, we're going to experience a single day inside the most powerful city on Earth. The day begins long before sunrise. It's 4 in the morning and the city is already steering. The air drifting in from the sea smells of salt, cedar wood, and something much sharper: the unmistakable scent of murex dye. This dye is made by crushing thousands of sea snails to extract a rare purple pigment. The process is messy, foul-smelling, and incredibly profitable. You wake up inside a tall apartment building in one of the city's crowded districts. Unlike many ancient cities, Carthage builds upward. Some apartment complexes rise 5 or even 6 stories high, constructed from limestone blocks and early concrete. From your balcony, you can see the streets below slowly filling with activity. Even at this hour, merchants, sailors, and workers are already moving through the city. The streets beneath you are paved and straight. Carthage planned its layout with remarkable precision centuries before many other civilizations would attempt the same. The city operates like a machine, organized, efficient, and always in motion. As the first light of dawn spreads across the horizon, golden sunlight begins reflecting off the water of the harbor. And that's where the true power of Carthage becomes visible. The arbor complex, known as the Kothon, is one of the greatest engineering achievements of the ancient world. From above, it looks almost unreal. The outer harbor is a massive rectangular basin crowded with merchant ships arriving from distant lands. Vessels from Spain, North Africa, Sicily, and even the distant coasts of Britain unload their cargo here. Tin, silver, ivory, timber, grain, and rare spices move constantly through the port. But the outer harbor is only the beginning. A narrow channel leads deeper into the city's greatest strategic secret: the inner harbor. Unlike the outer port, this harbor is perfectly circular, carved into the coastline like a giant stone ring. Around its edges are more than 200 ship sheds, each designed to house a warship. At the center of the circle sits a small island with a tall command tower where the admiral of the fleet can watch every ship entering or leaving the harbor. From the sea, the tower is nearly invisible, but from inside the harbor, the admiral can observe everything. Ship parts are standardized and marked with symbols, allowing workers to assemble new warships quickly from pre-built components. In an emergency, they can construct an entire warship in just a few days. For the ancient world, this is essentially naval mass production. The constant rhythm of hammers and saws echoes across the docks as workers expand the fleet that dominates the Mediterranean. As the morning continues, you leave the harbor and head toward the central marketplace. This is where the true diversity of the Carthaginian Empire becomes visible. The marketplace is a chaotic symphony of languages, accents, and cultures. The main language spoken here is Punic, a Semitic language related to ancient Phoenician and Hebrew. To outsiders from Greece or Italy, it sounds completely unfamiliar. The crowd itself is astonishingly diverse. Numidian horsemen from the North African deserts walk through the market beside Greek mercenaries wearing bronze armor. Iberian warriors carry curved swords, while traders from distant ports negotiate loudly over prices. Carthage isn't an empire built purely through conquest. It's built through trade. Stalls overflow with goods gathered from every corner of the known world. Tin from Britain, silver from Spain, precious dyes from the Levant, rare incense from Arabia, fine glassware and delicate jewelry crafted by skilled artisans. Among the most valuable items here is the famous Tyrian purple cloth dyed using the murex snails harvested along the coast. Producing a single garment requires thousands of shells, and the resulting fabric is so expensive that only royalty can afford to wear it. As the crowds move through the market, one thing becomes clear. The wealth flowing through Carthage is staggering. The state is so prosperous that it even subsidizes food for poorer citizens, ensuring the city remains stable despite its enormous population. Later in the morning, your path leads upward toward Bursa Hill, the fortified heart of the city. This towering citadel dominates the skyline. At its summit stands the great temple of Eshmun, the god of healing. Palm trees line the stairways leading to the sanctuary, their fronds swaying gently in the sea breeze. From here, you can see almost the entire city stretching toward the sea. But unlike many ancient civilizations, Carthage isn't ruled by a king. Instead, it operates as a merchant republic. Two officials known as suffetes are elected each year to govern the city, while a powerful senate made up of wealthy elites controls long-term policy. In Rome, political power depends heavily on family lineage. In Carthage, influence flows through wealth. Successful merchants, ship owners, and industrial magnates shape the direction of the state. This isn't a warrior aristocracy, it's a commercial empire run by businessmen. Profit, trade routes, and economic dominance matter far more than military glory. As the sun climbs higher into the sky, the North African heat becomes intense. You leave the crowded city center and walk toward a quieter district known as the Megara. Here, the atmosphere completely changes. Instead of dense streets and crowded markets, the area opens up into lush agricultural gardens and estates. Fruit trees stretch across carefully irrigated land. Figs, olives, almonds, and pomegranates grow in abundance. Carthage's agricultural knowledge is legendary throughout the Mediterranean. A Carthaginian scholar named Mago once wrote a massive 28-volume encyclopedia on farming, detailing advanced techniques for irrigation, livestock breeding, and soil management. His work became so respected that even the Romans later translated it into Latin. Water channels wind through the gardens, feeding crops and orchards with remarkable efficiency. The air here smells of blossoms, damp earth, and ripening fruit. It's a peaceful escape from the noise of the harbor districts. This is where the city's wealthy elite retreat to their marble villas surrounded by greenery and shade. Later in the afternoon, you approach one of the most impressive defensive structures in the ancient world, the walls of Carthage. These aren't simple stone barriers. They are enormous three-layered fortifications rising more than 13 meters high and nearly 10 meters thick. But the most astonishing detail lies inside the walls themselves. The interior is hollow. Within these massive structures are barracks capable of housing 20,000 soldiers and stables for hundreds of war elephants. Yes, elephants. The Carthaginians captured and trained an extinct species of North African forest elephant, smaller than modern African elephants, but still powerful enough to terrify enemy armies. The smell of hay and animals drifts from the interior chambers as handlers care for the massive creatures. These elephants are living weapons, and if war comes, they will march with Carthage's armies into battle. As the afternoon fades, the industrial districts of the city remain busy. Carthage is not only a trading hub, it is also a manufacturing powerhouse. Inside crowded workshops, artisans produce enormous quantities of goods destined for export across the Mediterranean. Glassmakers craft delicate beads and ornaments. Potters shape ceramics by the thousands. Perfume makers blend oils and fragrances that will travel far beyond North Africa.
The Carthaginians are masters of commercial adaptation.
If they encounter a successful product in another culture, they quickly learn how to replicate it and often produce it more efficiently and cheaply. Their merchants then flood international markets with their goods. In many ways, Carthage operates like an ancient industrial economy. Trade fuels production, and production fuels trade. As the sun begins to sink toward the horizon, the mood of the city slowly shifts. You walk toward a sacred place on the outskirts of the city known as the Tophet. This sanctuary is dedicated to the gods Tanit and Baal-Haman. Stone stelae rise from the ground like silent witnesses, each engraved with inscriptions thanking the gods for blessings received. Ancient writers, especially the Romans, claimed that the Carthaginians performed child sacrifices here during times of crisis. Modern archaeology still debates whether those accusations were exaggerated propaganda or grim reality. What remains undeniable is the intense spiritual atmosphere of the place. Incense smoke curls upward into the evening sky, while drums and flutes echo through the sanctuary. The ritual music is loud and hypnotic. It serves as a reminder that beneath the sophisticated trade networks and engineering marvels of Carthage lies a civilization rooted in ancient Near Eastern traditions. Eventually, night falls over the city. Oil lamps begin to glow in windows and along the streets. You're invited to an evening banquet hosted by wealthy merchants. The food is far more exotic than what most Romans eat. Spiced stews simmer in clay pots. Roasted lamb is served with grains and sauces rich in herbs and peppers. Wine from the Capbone Peninsula flows freely throughout the evening. The conversation at the table isn't focused on philosophy or poetry. Instead, it revolves around exploration. Carthaginian sailors are among the most daring navigators of the ancient world. Some have traveled with the famous explorer Hanno the Navigator, who once sailed far down the coast of West Africa. His expedition described strange volcanic landscapes and mysterious creatures in the distant wilderness. To the Carthaginians, the Atlantic Ocean isn't a terrifying unknown. It's simply another trade route waiting to be explored. Late at night, you step onto the rooftop overlooking the harbor. Thousands of lamps illuminate the city below. The circular naval harbor lies quiet now, warships resting in their stone docks like sleeping giants. A lighthouse beam sweeps slowly across the dark water. In 264 BC, this city appears unstoppable. It has unmatched wealth, the most advanced navy on Earth, massive walls, war elephants, and global trade routes stretching beyond the horizon. But far across the sea, in the Italian peninsula, another power is beginning to rise: Rome. The conflict between these two civilizations will soon ignite the Punic Wars. Within a century, Carthage, this magnificent city of trade, science, and exploration, will be destroyed. Its buildings burned, its libraries lost, its language slowly fading from history. Yet standing here tonight, none of that has happened yet. The harbor is full, the treasury overflows, and Carthage still rules the sea. For this moment in time, it remains the undisputed queen of the Mediterranean, a different path for Western civilization, a path built on commerce, exploration, and knowledge, a path that history would soon cut short.